A tanker captain crosses a narrow passage, carrying cargo worth more than the ship itself. Then the radio crackles. It's the Revolutionary Guard. Turn back. This is your only warning. He doesn't turn back. 40 minutes later, a missile strikes a ship less than a mile away. This isn't fiction. It happened in 2026, in a narrow waterway powerful enough to threaten the global economy. The global economy depends on a bottleneck just 21 miles wide, with one country controlling half of it. Whoever controls the Strait of Hormuz controls global leverage, and in 2026, the world learned exactly what that means. Let's start with the map, because once you see how narrow this passage really is, everything changes. The Persian Gulf has one critical exit, the Strait of Hormuz, between Iran and Oman. At its narrowest, tankers have just 2 miles of usable water in each direction. 2 miles. There is no easy alternative. If Hormuz closes, the oil has nowhere else to go. Every day, roughly 20 million barrels of oil pass through Hormuz, alongside a massive share of global LNG. China, Japan, India, and South Korea depend heavily on Hormuz. When prices spike there, they rise worldwide. Iran could disrupt global oil supplies through Hormuz, using missiles, mines, and fast attack boats. To understand the threat, we have to look back. This nightmare has happened before. In the 1980s, Iran and Iraq attacked each other's economic lifeline, oil tankers. They called this period the Tanker War, a name that sounds simple for something so dangerous. Over 4 years, more than 400 commercial ships were attacked by mines, missiles, and armed speedboats. Kuwait asked America to protect its tankers by flying the U.S. flag. Washington agreed. It was earnest will. On April 14, 1988, the USS Samuel B. Roberts struck an Iranian mine, surviving through extraordinary damage control. 4 days later, America launched Operation Praying Mantis, the largest U.S. naval battle since World War II. The war's turning point wasn't a battle. On July 3, 1988, a U.S. warship mistakenly shot down an Iranian passenger jet. Weeks later, exhausted by years of war, Iran finally accepted a ceasefire brokered by the United Nations. You don't need to win a naval battle. Scare insurers enough, and ships stop coming. Military strategists call it asymmetric warfare. In 2026, Iran used it on a scale nobody expected. This is where history becomes personal, because its consequences may already be affecting your life. On February 28, 2026, US and Israeli strikes hit Iran. What happened next affected the entire world. Iran retaliated with a warning: no ship would pass through Hormuz without Iranian approval. Within days, Iran claimed control of Hormuz. Its forces boarded ships, laid mines, and seized 2 merchant vessels. By early March, oil topped $100 a barrel, while shipping through Hormuz collapsed by 90%. Iran didn't need an aircraft carrier. It nearly shut down a waterway carrying 1/5 of the world's oil. The The United States responded by blockading Iranian ports, while China and Russia blocked an early UN resolution. A shaky ceasefire came in April, but fighting resumed by July when a UAE oil vessel was reportedly struck. The crisis isn't resolved, it's paused, and that pause could break at any moment. If you're hearing this scale for the first time, you're probably asking, how bad did it get? The numbers are staggering. Most people notice the crisis when it reaches their wallet, and suddenly everything becomes more expensive. The 2026 oil shock was historic, triggering stagflation, the worst combination of rising prices and slowing growth. But averages hide the real story. This crisis hit some countries far harder than others. Consider India. It imports most of its oil, meaning millions faced higher costs for fuel, transport, and electricity. Consider Qatar, where missile damage hit major LNG facilities, disrupting exports and forcing repairs that continue today. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the UAE lost billions in oil revenue, freezing projects and straining essential public spending. Even America wasn't insulated. Global supply chains still depend on ships crossing dangerous waters. Global trade depends on one fragile assumption. In 2026, the world learned what happens when that assumption breaks. In March 2026, governments faced one question: could anyone force Hormuz open, or did Iran control the outcome? America has the world's most powerful navy, so why couldn't it simply force Hormuz open and end the crisis? Because sea mines don't care how powerful your navy is. One hidden mine can stop a billion-dollar ship. Here's the key. You can't shoot a mine sitting on the seafloor, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Add shore-based missiles and cheap drones, and insurers may decide the risk is simply too high for ships to pass. That's what happened in 2026. America launched escorts and a counter-blockade, but fighting resumed within weeks. Iran doesn't own all of Hormuz, yet fear alone was enough to make ships stop passing through it. If military power can't quickly keep Hormuz open, what actually keeps this choke point functioning in normal times? The answer is deterrence and mutual dependence. In 2026, that balance broke, and the world is still rebuilding it. So, where does that leave us now? The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most dangerous economic choke points. Hormuz remains in an uneasy peace. Oil markets still price in real danger, not some distant possibility. For 40 years, Iran closing Hormuz was only a hypothetical. In 2026, that doomsday scenario finally arrived. In 2026, it finally happened. And reality proved messier, with ships, sailors, and economies caught in the middle. The Strait of Hormuz is just 21 miles wide. In 2026, we learned how much of our lives depend on it. For decades, leaders treated Hormuz as a background risk. In 2026, that assumption proved catastrophically expensive. If Hormuz can disrupt the global economy this badly, should the world have built a real alternative? Drop your take below. I read every comment, and I genuinely want to know where you stand on this. If you want more history meets current event stories like this, subscribe. We break down stories like these every week.